Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
I hear this young lady's name everywhere, by the way.
Taylor Rooks.
Taylor!
Hello.
Hi,
Happy
Taylor.
to be here. Happy to finally make it.
I've been trying to get Taylor to come up here for a while, but we wanted to make sure the timing was right because you have your show.
I do. And it's very exciting. We are now on to episode 5 will be next. So it's crazy that
Take
we're already
it
at
there.
the halfway point. Yes, take it there with Taylor Rooks. And yes, I know the first time I formally met you, you're like, oh, I know you. You're in my group chat.
Yes, I'm like, yo, I feel like I know you because every guy in my group chat is always talking about Taylor Rooks. How many industry dudes try to holler at you on the daily, Taylor?
Not on the daily. I mean, men are men regardless of like where you are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that girls, people try to talk to them every single day. I think maybe it's a little more since, people get to see me in more places, but that's just being a woman.
But I'm sure a lot of industry guys, though, because you are in the business.
Yeah. That's who you come across. That's like who you're around. But no, I'm very single in these streets.
Woo.
Well, guess whose DMs are about to be popping after this interview? All right, you said the magic word to a lot of people just now.
I've been places with Taylor Rooks and had to be like, this person wants to know, but he's too nervous. I'm not going to say who it is, but we know who it is.
Yeah.
I was like,
Who is it?
I'm not going to say because he's a friend of the show also.
Oh.
But he was just too nervous. And then he's like, oh, she's not going to. I'm like, come on, just holler at her. Like, what's the big
That's got to be a
problem?
turnoff, right? A guy that don't even have the confidence to talk to you.
I would say that if someone was nervous to talk to me, it's probably not going to work.
Yeah.
Damn, sorry.
Because I mean, I'm just not a nervous individual, and I am very into confidence. I believe everyone should be confident, and you're already 2 steps behind if you're thinking like she's not gonna be into this. But also, to be honest, like I'm still like in between heartbreaks right now. Like you're not even really trying to.
What happened?
I'm just like I think that sometimes women like to. I don't want to say like play this role, but feel as though like, yes, I'm not in this relationship anymore and I'm bigger and I'm better and I'm stronger. And while that is true, like when you end a relationship, it's also very difficult. Like, I was with somebody for 4 years and we're not together anymore. And I think that when you're in love with somebody, you're going to be in love with parts of them for a very long time. And
What happened?
You're still in. Are you still in love? First of all.
Yes.
With parts of him.
That's what she just said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean,
Which
I don't know.
parts?
Do you guys think? Do you guys think that when you're in love with somebody, you ever
Don't switch
stop
this
being
on
in love?
us. Don't switch this on
try to throw it
us.
to us.
You keep
I-
spilling your
Don't try
guts,
to-
Taylor.
What
But you know
happened,
what I'm saying?
Taylor? What happened?
It's not that like anything necessarily happened. It's hard to be in a relationship with somebody that you're not in the same state as.
You outgrew him.
No, I didn't outgrow him, but it's difficult.
He
like,
didn't cheat, did he?
I'm not getting into the specifics of this.
Oh,
but
you mean different state, as in you live in New York, he lives somewhere
Yes,
else.
like long
I
distance.
thought you meant state of mind.
No.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
A different states.
You
but
caught him cheating.
that's not why we broke up. No.
Tell me how far the distance is, first of all. Because if it's Philly, New York, then it's no excuse.
No. Down south.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
You're from Georgia.
I'm
so.
from Georgia.
All right.
Yeah. North side, Shout out amigos. But yeah, so that's kind of what I think that you grapple with. And I don't know if you ever stop being in love with a human being. And you can
You could definitely fall out of love with somebody.
Yeah,
100%.
I hope so.
You
You should
definitely
have never
can.
fell in love to begin with. You're supposed to grow in love with people. When you
Yeah.
fall, you get hurt.
That is very true, but I'm a person,
God.
I enjoy being in love. Like, I don't know why it's like weird right now. People like being like, I'm by myself and like, I'm cool. And I am so great being alone and I'm happy. I'm an incredibly happy individual, but I also think that life is a lot more full and it's fun to go through life with another human being.
That's because your cup probably runneth over with love.
But you're
Yeah.
also
And you're
I'm
able to fill up
very,
other
like-
people's cup.
you're
Yeah.
also still pretty young though.
I am.
And you're in a different phase of your life where you have your own show that you're starting, so you're focused. And I'm sure that sometimes it's hard to be in a relationship with somebody when you have to go talk to people that they might be intimidated by.
True.
That's true. I think there's always like this balance, but one thing that I was very, proud of with our relationship is we were both secure. And when you know somebody, other people don't matter. And if you're just confident within your relationship and the person that you're with, then that helps. But I also understand it would probably be very hard to be with me. And I'm cognizant of that fact. Like, it's hard to be with somebody that maybe people are tweeting about or commenting on their Instagram or like
In group
being
chat.
mean.
Putting their name in the group chat.
Like I can't imagine like what that would be like, and I understand that, and that's also on you to make sure that person is incredibly comfortable too. So I'm in no way saying being with me would be a breeze. I'm sure it's difficult, and I'm sure that for him at times it was incredibly.
Was your ex in the industry?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that probably is tough on him.
Yeah, I mean, like he is involved in sports, but he is not like a fake. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But people don't know who Taylor Rooks is.
Rooks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like,
don't
no,
know-
we don't know
I don't know
Taylor
Taylor Brooks either.
No, me.
For people who don't know who Taylor Rooks is, explain to them what Taylor Rooks is and what she works, what
Who
she
she
does.
is.
Who she is, I should say.
Yeah, so I am within sports media. I am a sports interviewer, sports host. I have my own show called Take It There with Taylor Rooks, which features weekly interviews with athletes, entertainers, and all those things. So I started at the Big Ten Network, then I was at SNY, and now I'm with Bleacher Report.
You come from a family of athletes, right?
I do.
Your father was
Yeah.
a football player?
Yeah, my dad played football at Illinois. One of my uncles played for the Saints. My other great uncle played for the Cardinals.
Lou
so,
Brock not just played for the Cardinals.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer with the St. Louis Cardinals. So it's definitely lots of sports in my family.
Did
You
you
either
play
like
sports?
it or you get kicked out in high school, but I wasn't.
Well, let's take it there with Taylor Rooks.
Oh, we go in there. Okay, let's do it.
Let's take it there with you. So let's talk about where you were and what was happening and going through your mind when you uncovered a whole scandal while you were at Scout.com.
Yeah, so I think that for me, I think been very fortunate that I've been in this industry for a long time. So a lot of the things happen to people later. It's hard for them to deal with because they're not used to it. When I was in college, I was covering sports. I was within the media space. I was breaking news. It was really my job when I was in college. And I was covering recruiting. And at that point, I was covering a recruit named Cliff Alexander. And he was supposed to go to Illinois. He ended up not going to Illinois. He went to Kansas. But he would only talk to me and one other reporter about different news. So reporters would be like, okay, he's not talking to anybody, but he's talking to her, and they were upset about that. And they were like, well, Cliff only talks to her because she's pretty. Like, Cliff only talks to her because he likes her.
What's wrong with pretty privilege? Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, but it's also can be
Demeaning
it's
to
demeaning
her-
to me because
Her
it's
pedigree as a reporter.
Right. But then what happened was once that, and kudos to Cliff for this, when it happened, and keep in mind, he's like 17, maybe 18. He's like, this isn't why I talked to her. Like, this is rude that you would even say this. And all of the beat reporters at University of Illinois kind of had my back. But so imagine me, I'm 19, and these old men are basically insinuating that that's the only reason why I'm able to do my job. I think that the sad part is that's something that still happens today, probably to all female journalists. But even if I'll do an interview, right, and it'll be really good, and I'll get somebody talking about something crazy, they'll open up and it's a really nice piece of content. It's like, Taylor always gets these guys to talk about whatever because they're trying to shoot their shot. They're trying to risk it all. It's like, no, they had a good answer because I asked a good question.
True.
Right? But for whatever reason, we have to go to the extreme instead of just thinking about what's right in front of us, which was this is a good interview because I've been doing this for a very long time.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you said that because I do want to take it there and talk about the Dwayne Wade interview that you had.
Yeah.
Which was a great interview, but somehow people were saying that he was trying not to look at you and he was focused
Yeah, and it's
on...
we take this small part of anything and we screenshot it and we're like, oh, he was staring at her. No, he wasn't. And you also have to think about the fact that
It did look like he was when I saw the video, though. I'm not gonna lie.
No, he was looking. But my thing, he's looking at me the way I'm looking at you, and
You
you're
staring
looking
at her right
me.
now, Charlamagne.
You know what I mean?
You're supposed to make eye contact when you're doing an interview.
I'm like, yeah,
So
I'm
that's
talking to
not
her.
staring. That's
Exactly. So I'm
that's what
talking
an
and I'm doing this interview. So yes, we're looking at each other, and it's for my podcast, I think that Dwayne Wade interview was one of my best. But
I think
it
that's when
didn't-
when I first saw you. I think that might have been.
yeah, but if people would focus on what I'm saying as much as they focus on what they're seeing, things would just be much better. But it genuinely does not really bother me at this point because the people that are supposed to hear the message. The people that understand, and what they think of me has nothing to do with me.
I will say, though, don't look down upon your blessings, though, because that may bring people in, but it's
For
what comes out of
sure.
your mouth that keeps them.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that. In a lot of ways, I credit social media to I mean, a lot of my career. Like, they're the ones who appreciate what I'm doing. They'll retweet, they'll like, they'll comment. Like, a lot of it is social media. The podcast thrived because of social media and because people wanted to see what people were tweeting about and why they were tweeting about this. So, yeah, like, how you look might get you there, but it's not the thing that's going to keep you there. And that's what people don't understand about, like, female journalists. They'll think that you're just, like, this eye candy that adds to a broadcast. But, like, you can't make money off just being that in this industry. Like, it is hard to do this. Like, the preparation that goes into the interviews, like, putting together an entire show, like, making sure you're creating news. Like, this isn't a fluke. Like, I did this for 4 years in college. My first job was on a national network. My second job was in the #1 market. Now I'm 26 years old and I have my own show. Like, you don't fake your way to that.
Right.
How
But
difficult
for
was it
whatever
for it to get in,
reason,
though? How difficult was it?
I mean, it wasn't difficult because I believed in it. Like, I've really been working at this for a long time. I was a freshman in college. I sat in my dorm room and said, what I'm going to do is, like, be a sports reporter. I need to figure out how to do it. I created a blog. It was called the Online Sideline. So lame. Created a blog.
Online what?
Sideline.
Online sideline. That's not bad.
Cute. You still have it?
No, not anymore.
Somebody
no,
trademark
blog's
that.
gone.
Might use that later. Online.
So I created this blog and I was just interviewing whoever I could, trying to get better at interviewing, better at storytelling, like managers on the basketball team, like soccer players at Illinois. Just,
Ever interview your dad or your uncle?
I have not interviewed my dad. I have interviewed my uncle, though. Yeah. And so that's what I was doing on that website. And then I did that my freshman year and sophomore year. Scout.com and Fox Sports saw that blog, said, we want you to cover Illinois football and basketball for us the rest of your time in college. So I did that my junior year and senior year. I did my first live television broadcast on CBS when I was 19. Like, this is a thing that I have been doing. So for me, my 4 years in college, that was like my first job, which allowed my first job to be a legitimate job on a big platform. But that's not what people want to see, and that's not what they want to hear, and that's not what they want to care about. Like, they want to just be like, dang, she looks good and she does an interview. But, like, this is years.
Right.
You better stop talking like this before you wake up ugly tomorrow. All right? Before you wake up, God take away all your blessings. Be like the movie Big or Little instead of waking up like...
And I am incredibly flattered. I think that it's so nice that, you know, some people think that I'm good looking. Like, that's really nice. I'm in no way knocking those compliments. I appreciate them. I think that we're all incredibly beautiful. But I'm so many other adjectives.
Right.
Yeah,
She doesn't want it to be just that, about that.
Yeah, like, I'm fine with you being like, you look great in this interview, but you also sound great. And that was a good
I'm
question.
going to be honest with you. You look all right.
Thank you. I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
like, and my thing is, I'm fine if somebody goes on the internet and is like, you're ugly. Like, I don't care because...
You shouldn't care either way.
Yeah, like, I don't tie my self-worth into what I look like. The only person that sees being ugly as, like, a diss is if that's all you care about yourself. Like,
True.
If you think I'm not pretty, you think I have a big nose, which I do and I love, you think I have brown skin, which I love, like, I'm fine with that. Like, that's not a thing that's going to change how I feel about myself, and I'm fine with somebody commenting that.
Well,
I feel
let's
like we're
take it
skipping
there
a lot of
about...
steps,
Oh, yeah,
though.
I know. That's what I want to get to.
Like, first of all, I want to know what the scandal was with Cliff.
No, that was the scandal.
Oh, it was a scandal? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Talk
Just
to
the
you.
fact that he would only talk to you.
Yeah, and
All right.
it wasn't even like a scandal. It was someone
Okay.
tweeted something, and then I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm like this 19-year-old reporter, and like, you're putting me into this. You're like 50. And
played-
that was the whole thing.
And you played sports in high school.
In high school.
What sport?
In high school, I ran track.
So what happened?
I just like wasn't Jackie Joyner Kersey.
It was high school.
Got you.
I don't like doing anything I'm not like the best at.
So I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out what led you exactly to sports commentating.
Well, so because I grew up in a sports family, I'm from Georgia, so like we live, breathe, eat football. Like that's just how I grew up. And my
Bulldogs?
family's big into sports. Bulldogs and Falcons. But I'm more Falcons even than I am Bulldogs.
Okay.
My family is a big Georgia family. My sister goes there. But yeah, so I just knew that what I wanted to do was combine like people and sports. Because more than like enjoying being in the media, I just enjoy people. Like I like being around people. I like talking to people. I like getting to know people. So, and this was just the perfect way to kind of fuse those things.
Got you.
So let's take it there to when you found out you were moving to New York.
Yeah.
What was that like?
You know, at first I almost didn't want to come to New York just because I loved being at the Big Ten Network. I liked being in Chicago. I was covering a beat that I knew a lot about, which was Big Ten sports. but I didn't want comfort to be a reason that I stayed at a place. So when New York came calling, I'm like, it's the #1 market. I'll go there and I'll actually be hosting, reporting, anchoring, not just like on a show for a couple minutes at a time. I'll be carrying shows. And that's like a big step of growth in your career. At a Big Two Network, I love everyone there. It was such an amazing opportunity, but you start to feel stagnant. It's like, am I growing every day when I come here, or am I just like reading something and moving on? Like, am I getting better?
You're being an announcer, not a personality.
Kinda, yeah. Or I'm talking about like just what somebody tweeted. I'm not adding anything.
Gotcha.
And to me, the thing that has been my strength is giving my opinions on things and talking about the things that I feel matter. So coming to New York was more about growth than anything.
And you did grow because now you have your very own show on Bleacher
Yes.
Report every Wednesday.
Yeah, every Wednesday it comes out at 11 a.m. But this is mid-season break next week, so no next week, and then we come back.
How much sports do you have to watch?
A lot, yeah, a lot. But my main things are football and basketball, so that's fun.
You don't
to
have to do
watch.
soccer, hockey.
I do soccer too.
Baseball.
Yes, because
That's where the money
Bleacher
at.
Report's big into soccer. It's made me like it a lot. Our next guest is actually Mo Salah, who's a real. I don't know if you guys like soccer.
No.
Yeah, he's a really big soccer player.
But I do know if you're gonna, get in a relationship with somebody and you're gonna be around a lot of these athletes. Those soccer players, they got those big contracts.
Charlamagne's a bird.
He
If
really
Charlamagne
is.
was
Like,
playing, it would be a
I
I
soccer
got my
player
own big contract.
or a
I don't
baseball
need.
player.
I
I
don't
don't
need.
know if they
you
would
go.
like listen. I don't know if they would like a regular looking girl like you, but
He's a bird.
okay.
Bird.
He really
Bird.
is. Charlamagne's a fool. I know how y'all do this every day. No, I'm just
So
playing.
how did
He's
the
great.
contract come up for you with,
Yeah.
with Bleacher Report? Like, how did that
Yeah.
even happen?
Yeah, so they basically just like approached my agents and said Taylor has been able to sustain this like content on her own, and we want to give her like a platform and support to create something much bigger.
Dope.
Like that podcast that I was doing at SNY, like I booked that podcast, I produced that podcast, like I sat in that room and I talked to people for an hour and we just put it out. Like it's not easy to talk to anybody for an hour.
Right.
And those podcasts all created news. They generated like a lot of news. And so Bleacher kind of saw that and said, how can we cultivate this and make it something a bit more tangible and a bit more organized? Because, I mean, I know my weaknesses too. Like, I'm not a producer. At the end of the day, that's not what I am by trade. So to be at a place where it's a strong team and we're working on something that's going to mean something bigger within the sports media spectrum is really nice.
And it was important for you to hire women also.
Yeah, for sure. Like I am so into just like women. We are so capable and we're so strong, but we just have to be put into those positions to be those things. So it was very, very important to me, and I love that I'm surrounded by women every single day.
Did coming from a family of athletes, professional athletes, did it give you an added advantage in the sports world? 'Cause I feel like it's got to be some type of privilege with that, right?
I think that there's probably maybe some privilege with it, but my uncle or my dad, there's not like any job they've ever gotten me. You know, people maybe will want to take me more serious when they hear like, oh, your family did this.
Gotcha.
But everything that I have done has been like, I did it.
It wasn't your jump shot.
Yeah, it was.
I seen the video of you shooting the jump shot. What?
Listen, I got killed for my jump shot, but it wasn't bad. None of my misses were bad.
It was a miss.
Even they
None of your
weren't, and
misses
you're
were
right. That's
bad.
all that mattered. That's all that mattered. Like I did an air ball.
Oh,
all
gotcha,
my
gotcha,
misses
gotcha.
hit the rim.
Yeah.
All my misses hit the rim. So that's very
Taylor, we
important.
still would have lost the game. Either way.
Definitely
Okay.
lost the game.
That's true. Yeah, you know, I'm not Damian Lillard, but
What are some of
it'll
the
do.
challenges you face being a black, female, regular-looking sportscaster?
Yeah. I'll answer once you rephrase.
Okay. What are some of the challenges you face being a black female sportscaster?
Yeah. I think obviously just being a black person, you're going to be facing certain challenges. You know, so there's already layers to that question. I'm black, I'm a woman, and I'm in a space that is considered to be very public. So a lot of things are already working against you. But the way that we talk about, you know, black people or women, sometimes that we frame those two things about them as like disadvantages, like these are obstacles that they had to overcome. And while that is true, I think that I am here because of those things. So like I see being black and being a woman as two things that I very much so identify with, and that means a lot to me. Like I don't think that I would be the way I am if it wasn't for that. Does that make sense? Like
Makes
I just
perfect
don't
sense.
necessarily like them to be framed like they're hurdles I had to overcome.
It's a privilege. Like that's why
Your
my
book.
first book is Black Privilege. 'Cause I
Yeah.
feel like it's a privilege to be
It's
black.
such a privilege.
Yeah.
I don't want to be anything else. Like, I'm here because of that.
But sometimes in the world of sports with women in particular, they act like because you're a woman, you automatically don't know as much information as a man knows.
Which is very true.
I think the Jamel Hills of the world and the Carrie champions have changed that, though.
For sure. And like Carrie is somebody who is so dear to me. Like she's such a mentor to me. Like there is nobody more supportive and more of a genuine human being than Carrie. And I don't think that there would be this space for like me or Roz Gold or Maria Taylor if it wasn't for them. And like Pam Oliver and like the people within that space, it would not be a thing. So I'm so appreciative of them. And I really do believe in like each one teach one. So it's going to be important to me to like always pass along things to other people, other women, other Black women. Like we all have to keep going. Like a win for one of us is a win for all of us.
Because I still see people online going in on women. Like, oh, what do you know about sports?
They go or like go back to the kitchen or like it's ridiculous. And I don't understand why we are this way. But there is so much room for everybody to be great at what they do that you don't have to continue to put people down for that.
So can you not have a team that's your team? Like, what's your team?
Oh, I'm a Falcons fan.
Okay.
That's my only team, though.
Okay, I was going to say, what
don't bring it up. I know someone's going to make a Super Bowl.
Was crushing, wasn't it?
Anyways. I knew it was coming.
The Patriots
I'm a Falcons fan and just a Falcons
fan. So no
fan.
sports, no basketball, no baseball?
Like, I hope the Hawks do well.
But you don't?
I don't really care.
You don't have a vested interest in?
But Falcons, I'm like crushed. Like, I know I don't want to talk about the Super Bowl, but during the Super Bowl at halftime, I like bought tickets to go back home for the parade because I'm like, we won, having a parade.
Jesus.
Damn.
I went home still, no parade.
I just want to say the New England Patriots, Tom Brady especially, was the first person to ever defeat the internet. Because by the third quarter, fourth quarter, they was going in on him. Every Jordan face meme and everything.
Yeah,
and
it was bad.
He came back and beat the Falcons and the internet.
It was bad. Like, you cannot count him out to like it. There is zeros on that clock. And I have learned that lesson, but we're going to go back.
What would be the first question you would ask Tom Brady in an interview?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
Ask him about his MAGA hat in the locker room. Is that even a real picture?
I do think that it's a real picture, but I think that like Giselle came out and said, we don't support Trump. The hat was sent to him. But I do think people should have to like, I don't want to say should answer for that, but should explain things. Because if we're having Black people explain why they kneel, like maybe some people should explain why they don't.
Ooh, yes.
Like, I'm fine if you're not going to kneel, but like if you're placing the burden on us to like say why this is right, then like I'm gonna put the burden on you as to why you feel like it's wrong, you know? And I don't know if we necessarily do that. Like, it's important for everybody to like explain their intentions, whether you agree with them or not. Like, if you think what Colin Kaepernick was doing was incorrect, that's fine. I don't think like you're wrong for that. Like, everybody is entitled to whatever they want. Like when Malcolm Jenkins decided that he wasn't going to kneel, all he was going to do was like do the fist and try to go in the community. That's great. Both things can be right. But it's just like, don't come into the conversation without having valid reasons for yourself. And I think that we're missing that. Everyone's just like, it's wrong. He shouldn't do it. What about this? What about that? But that's not what the conversation is about.
Now, I'm sorry. I was gonna say you spoke to Melo before.
Yeah.
How do you think that that I should say treating Melo in this league right now?
Yeah, I mean, like Melo is just like not getting the respect that I feel like he's earned.
He can't get a last dance.
Yeah, like and like anytime Melo does something, it's just like jokes, and it's just like I don't understand. I don't think that we ever just appreciated Melo for what he was. He was constantly compared to like Braun, but like we can't make Melo be Braun. We gotta have Melo be Melo, and Melo was very, very good. Like
Very
we
good.
forget that, you know? So I don't think it's fair. I think that he was a scapegoat in Houston. I think he's ended up being the scapegoat at a lot of places. I think Melo could have thrived more, but the worst thing to ever happen to him was Phil Jackson. And it just was kind of the perfect storm to kind of go downhill. But Melo is fantastic. I'm incredibly close to La, so I'm always going to be like, they're both great.
You got some great mentors.
I do.
You got Carrie, you got Lala.
Yeah, because that's the thing about Lala. Like, people kind of sleep on Lala.
As far as
like, meaning like Lala was Lala before Melo.
Oh, yeah.
But like
100%.
everybody kind of thinks that like Lala married Melo and then she became this. But no, like that is a person who I remember watching on TV and thinking, they look like me. Like, she was one of the first Black people that I saw on
Right.
TV in that role.
Direct effects.
Yeah, when she was on TV.
Her and
So
Clue back in the day.
yeah, so no, Lala is fantastic. That's another person that is like always there for me. So
You know what's interesting about that? When Mello got with Lala, I was like, damn, Mello came up.
yeah,
Like, that's how I thought.
yeah,
I didn't look at it the
Mello,
other way
Mello
around.
won that scenario. Yes, for sure.
How important is it to have those mentors though? Because even somebody like Carrie, who's a dear friend of mine, she embraces the next generation, and people always say, "Oh, in that business, it's not a lot of them, so women tend to push other women to the side." So how important is that?
It's really important because there's only a certain amount of people that I think will understand like the issues and problems that you have sometimes, and it's them because they've gone through it and they relate. But that is the number one thing I appreciate with people like Lala and Carrie is that we all want the other to succeed, and that's really rare. I don't know why women don't want women to do well.
But there are a lot of women who do.
There are, but it's sad that it isn't everyone.
Right. It's not. It's definitely not everybody.
Yeah,
but
it's
I
really
don't like
not.
the misconception that it's like we all tear each other down. There's only one
Yeah.
spot. Because I do
In
feel
that
like
business it is.
we get support from women.
Maybe I think it's gotten much better. Like because right now, what everybody wants is like a woman on their channel, on their network. I just don't ever want that to turn into just a fad.
Right.
Like it shouldn't be there because that's what's cool right now. Like we should be there because we're a very necessary voice within the landscape. But yeah, I think that there are definitely women who root for each other and don't feel like they have to tear the other one down.
Yeah, absolutely. I always root for Taylor.
Yes.
Also.
Oh, always. I'd go to every
think-
event Angela has.
I came to your screening, your debut for
Yes.
your new show too,
I
and
think we
I've
should
been
start the
trying to
Taylor
get her
Rooks
up here.
challenge.
What's that?
What's
It's for
that?
any guy that's around Taylor Rooks to just treat her like she's really regular looking. You know what I'm saying?
You shouldn't treat people different because
You
they're
really
good
should.
looking.
No,
You know,
sis-
I saw this like.
Why'd you just stutter like that? Now that's a
I
good.
didn't want to talk over y'all.
I saw this like thing on Instagram the other day, and I'm not saying this is you, but I'm really not. It sounds like I'm setting it
Now
up.
it sounds like,
No
now it sounds
disrespect.
like it is.
But it essentially said like, don't just support women that you're attracted to.
Right.
And I think that men do that sometimes. Like you shouldn't support someone because there's like some light at the end of the tunnel. You're gonna get a cookie at the end. Like, you know what I mean? But I think men feel that way sometimes.
yeah.
Like it's important to just like support women because women need support. It's important for black men to support black women because black women always support black men. Like
is a fact.
this is like very, very, very important. So I just feel like that's how everyone should kind of be treated.
And that's why they should treat you like you regular looking.
Oh,
so
exactly.
therefore,
How do you treat someone like they're regular?
Exactly.
looking? What does that even
Exactly.
mean?
therefore, the support is genuine. Okay.
He's basically saying like pretty privilege is a real thing.
Charlamagne's been ugly
It
for
is, though.
years. He's been
It
ugly
is
for
real.
years, and he just doesn't know. He got
Yeah.
he got prettier now.
Listen, just like
Ain't
black
he beautiful?
privilege, I am now.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Don't
about
see.
this
Don't tell him
skin.
that. Don't
I don't know
start
about
that.
that.
Your skin is very good. Drop
Dr. Natasha
the
Sandy,
tutorial.
a black
yeah.
woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just like black privilege is real.
Guy
Like being a
crazy.
woman privilege is real.
Yeah.
Like pretty privilege is real. Who cares?
I'm
We
not
like
saying,
nice things. Humans
I'm not
like nice
saying that
things.
it's not. I'm just saying that isn't the thing that's important.
Right.
Yeah. But
And
it's real.
Who's been your favorite interview so far on Take It There?
Ooh.
Somebody's gonna get mad if you don't say them, but
I know they're all
who
my
did you-
favorite.
Who did you like the best?
They're all my favorite.
I saw you. I saw
All
you got
my
to play
children are my
spades.
favorite.
You got to play spades with Jimmy Butler.
I like them all seriously, but probably the interview with Saquon Barkley was my favorite
Okay.
because it was the first time I think a lot of people ever heard him talk about anything that wasn't football because he was a rookie. He had a great year. It's a sit down. You get to see him with his daughter and his girlfriend. Like it's a really nice interview. So probably Saquon Barkley. And he was our first NFL player on the show too.
And,
It was nice.
and you love football.
Yes, I loved it. It was really good. I got him to say that he thought that he'd be the best running back of all time. So it was really nice.
Do you
Now, how could
participate in online debates? Because there's been this debate this week about Russell Westbrook and Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
Which I think is so premature. I love Damian Lillard. I thought it was a great shot. He's had a great season. He had
Yeah.
a great series against
You had a great
OKC.
interview with Damian Lillard.
I
too.
did. Yeah, I had a good
But
one.
he's not better than Russell Westbrook.
You're saying that it's too quick to like see that shot and just make a decision.
The man, Russell Westbrook, has averaged a triple-double for the past 3 seasons.
That was
That
an
is-
incredible shot. at
Damian
the end.
Lillard has a great series and a good
Yeah.
shot, and
couple
now
of
he's
shots like
better
that.
than
Not
Russell
just one
Westbrook.
good shot. He does.
Yeah,
that
he
a couple.
kinda
Russell
does
Westbrook
this.
averaged
I know.
a triple
I know.
double for 3 seasons in
I
a
know what you're
row.
But I
saying.
will
Just don't
say
say he's one
this:
shot,
does Russell Westbrook losing in the first round this year change what you think of Russ? Like, are you starting to think like maybe he isn't as good as I thought? Just
No.
because I'm
Hell
just
no.
curious.
He made us not be a winner. You know what I'm saying? Like, he may be a great player, but he may just not be a winner. But that doesn't mean Damian Lillard might end up being a better winner than Russell Westbrook, but that doesn't mean he's a better player.
What's his name?
Yeah,
Listen, LeBron James is probably the best player in the league.
Yeah.
Would you necessarily call him a winner?
Yes. Yeah. What do you mean?
So Kobe Bryant is a winner.
Yeah,
Michael
but I
Jordan
would
is a
say
winner.
LeBron is a winner
LeBron's a
too.
winner.
When
LeBron's
Michael Jordan,
definitely a
when
winner.
Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant are on the court, you know that they're probably going to win a championship. When LeBron's on your team, you know they're probably going to compete for a championship. It's a difference.
But that doesn't mean he's not a winner. You're saying that maybe they're more of winner, but to say he's not a winner, I don't think is really
accurate. He's won.
He's a winner.
winner.
He was really big for
LeBron
that
is a winner.
Cleveland
He's
Cavaliers.
He's a
I mean, that
winner.
made him a winner.
Yeah.
No.
But honestly though, that to me is like the single thing that restored his legacy and what people thought about him was the fact that he went back to Cleveland and won there. If he didn't do that,
That's a
I don't
winner.
know how he would be remembered.
No, that was great for him.
Yeah, that was it.
That was him coming back to beat Golden State and him getting his hairline back was the two greatest things
goodness.
that he's accomplished. But Michael Jordan dominated
True.
his era. Like,
I
you
agree.
knew when Michael Jordan was on the floor, they probably were going to win the championship. You're
And
not
I
too
agree
sure
with that.
like that with LeBron.
I
Let's
think
be
LeBron
honest.
would have dominated his era if the Warriors didn't have that all-star team.
LeBron had been to plenty of finals before Golden State, sir.
Yeah,
What
but
are you talking about?
he's
LeBron's
still
like 3 and what, 3 and 7?
It's just not
who
accurate to
dominated
say
while
he's
been in
not
the league?
a winner.
That,
Who
yeah, that's
dominated
not
before
accurate.
LeBron?
Yeah.
Since LeBron's been in the league. Who dominated since LeBron's been in the league?
Since he's been in the league?
Yes, sir.
Nobody's dominated the league.
LeBron.
No, he hasn't.
LeBron hasn't dominated the league.
I don't think he's been dominant.
Then who has?
You mad he
But
got
we're
his
saying then
hairline
who's
back.
been dominant?
I think right now the Golden State Warriors are dominant.
But
right?
a person.
Yeah, no, a
You mean as an
person,
individual
an
player?
individual
Yes.
player.
Oh, yeah.
LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
But
LeBron.
once again,
like whether you think
can be a
LeBron-
dominant player and not be a winner. Russell Westbrook is a dominant player, but he's not a winner.
Okay, so then tell me one person in the league right now that fits your criteria for winner.
Right now, Steph Curry, without a doubt.
But like, so you're saying that you
Steph
would
Curry's a
take
dominant
like Steph
player who-
over LeBron because he won, because he was on the Warriors with this amazing team.
All I'm saying is,
I just don't think it's the same thing because if LeBron was on that team and say
Steph
Steph,
Curry
say
with a
LeBron and
superstar
Steph
cast
swapped,
around
Yeah.
him.
that team was built around Steph Curry.
but
sir.
say LeBron and Steph swapped,
yes,
then LeBron would be a winner.
no.
Yo,
You
you're
they
crazy.
wouldn't
wouldn't
like LeBron.
Oh my, so
Crazy.
you're
No.
telling me LeBron couldn't have won probably more if he switched with Steph and he was on that Warriors
That
team.
don't make you a
Charlamagne
winner.
just wants his
But you
hairline
just
back
said-
and he's
you
jealous
just
of
said-
LeBron.
But you
That's
just
what
said
I
it
got
makes
from this
Steph a winner.
conversation.
You just said it makes Steph a winner.
It's simple.
Wait,
Russ-
no, you said that
Yes.
makes Steph a winner. You just said that.
Yes, but that team was built around Steph Curry.
But that's not the question. Is if they swapped.
We're talking about individuals,
you want me to
not
take
teams
LeBron
being
and put him
built
on
around
Steph's
someone.
team that was built for Steph Curry.
I'm saying you're saying Steph is a winner because the team he was on won. That's like literally the only thing that you're saying is the criteria
I'm
to
saying
be
Steph
in
Curry
that
is a winner because
category.
when he's in those big time situations,
With
he
a great
shows
team
up
that's built around
and
him.
they win championships, just like Kobe
LeBron
Bryant
doesn't show up
did.
in big moments.
No, that has always been
No.
LeBron's problem.
Honestly, though, that's like this thing that like we'd say on Twitter, like LeBron's not clutch. Like, but
He's
he.
not.
But there are lots of instances where he has been. Like, that's just. It's just not. I don't think that's a very accurate statement.
Do you keep him? Do you put him in the same category as Michael Jordan?
Category, yes.
No
Am I
way.
saying that he's better? No. But
put him
you
in the
said
same
you
category
said
as Kobe Bryant?
category.
Yeah, it's a category. What's the category?
It's levels.
Right.
It's
No, he's
Jordan,
he's on
it's
a
the
level.
Kobe's,
But
it's the Magics.
you're saying that like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant mentally are the same, and I agree with that.
That's a fact.
That doesn't mean that they are like this different level of basketball player than LeBron.
Ooh, that's a good point. I'm glad you said that because that's what I'm trying to say. LeBron James is a dominant individual player, but he doesn't have that will to win that the Michael Jordan and the Kobe Bryants had. Once again, when you got Michael Jordan and Kobe on the court,
Does Steph Curry have the
you just
same
said he
will to
wasn't
Does
dominant.
Yes, I
Steph
do.
Curry have
Dominant.
the same
I
will
do.
to win
I
as
think he
Michael
does.
and Kobe?
yes, I think he does.
Who, Steph?
Yes, I think he does.
But
Absolutely.
at this
I think he
point,
does.
I just think you're trying to
Yeah.
make the argument. Because what you're essentially saying is that like Steph is like more equipped to win than LeBron James. And I just don't know if I agree with that.
And I think LeBron James is a better player than Steph Curry. I just don't think he has the will to win
All
as
right,
the Michael
listen.
Jordans, as the Kobe Bryant.
This is going nowhere.
Listen,
This is a hairline envy argument.
But this goes back to what we were saying about Damian Lillard. Why would you say Damian Lillard is better than Russell Westbrook?
I didn't
She
say
didn't
that.
say
Nobody said
that.
that.
See, there
Oh,
we go.
nobody
She
said
never
that.
said I didn't
Okay.
say that. No, we
You
were
just
talking
said he
about
only
it.
had one shot. We said he's more than just
So-
the one
Yeah,
shot.
I do think that Damian Lillard this entire time though has been better than he has been given credit for.
That is a fact. It's his
and
market,
that's
though.
I was gonna say it's simply because he plays in Portland.
Yeah.
And you know
Like-
what was interesting in his interview with you? He talked about not necessarily feeling his morals being stronger than and more important than just winning.
Yeah. Like he essentially said, like, I don't care what it is, I'm not joining up. Like I'm gonna win in Portland.
He doesn't believe in
or
super
I'm not
teams.
gonna win. Yeah. And I thought that was really nice. He definitely believes in something and stands in it. And I do think he's like, listen, if I don't get it done, I don't get it done. And that's what he said.
He's young. You know what I'm saying?
You're like, that might change.
That might change. You get bumped out of the playoffs, the next couple seasons.
Well, you can hear
We don't
more
know.
from Taylor Rooks. Tell him where, Taylor, because you'll be arguing with him all day.
Yes,
know,
I
same argument.
definitely
I just
do.
wanted to show that she can argue. That's all.
But did you believe what you were saying?
No, I definitely do though. I do.
Like he said,
do.
I think it's a little hairline envy. You know what I mean?
No, I do believe that. Like I think LeBron
believe
is
that
a great individual player. I just don't necessarily think he's.
Wait, quick
a
question.
winner.
Speaking of the hairline envy, because
Yes.
I'm curious, is that a real thing? The like
Tell him to take his hood off.
fixing it? No, don't take it.
Did
I'm
you-
saying
you
like
see
you know
this?
how people.
You see this?
Yes.
This used to belong to DJ Self. This was his hair, and we turned it into the microphone cover.
Okay.
No, seriously.
Stop it. But guys really do like get
Yes.
it.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
Really?
Transplants
They
and
take it out the back here.
But you got a lot of different ways to do
they
it. You
put
can do
it up there.
PRP.
show her how you did it, Envy.
I didn't do it.
PRP is when they draw
do it.
your blood and then
Have
they
you guys
spin your
ever
blood.
thought about it?
They just do
Envy
Beijing.
got it, I think,
They
to
just
be
do
honest with
Beijing
you.
right now.
Envy
I
definitely
believe
does that.
you.
No,
You
I'm
would see
serious.
this thing in the back here. You would
I
see
believe
here.
you.
Envy don't have it.
Envy ain't had no hairline last year.
Did you talk about yourself in third person?
He went away for 2 weeks and came back with a hairline.
I would tell him if I did, because I would get it sponsored. I get paid for it, but I don't. This is my hair growing back.
And then you just like drop it in an episode real quick.
yeah, oh, yeah.
If I did it, I would do PRP though. I wouldn't do
What's
the wigs.
that?
PRP is when they draw your blood and then they spin your blood and then they shoot it back into
You're like a vampire.
your bald spot. So that's natural. You know what I mean? I wouldn't
to
get,
like encourage the growth right
Right.
there.
boom.
The
Like I
only
wouldn't
thing
get like
about
a
that
lace
is you
front.
don't have a straight line, because it's usually doctors that don't really know, and it's always like funny curve. That's how you
Yeah.
can tell.
It's like a Brazilian butt lift on your head.
I wouldn't
don't
say
even know what
yet.
that is.
I wouldn't say that yet. But
You don't know what a Brazilian butt lift is?
I mean, I hear about it, but I don't necessarily
Yeah.
he's
know
got
what
it. He got it before too. Well, Taylor, thank you for joining us.
Taylor Rooks.
Thank you for having
Where
me.
do they follow you on Twitter and Instagram?
Everything is at Taylor Rooks, and if you just go to the Bleacher Report YouTube or on the app, you can find the show.
And she's single, guys. So you know what that
That's
means. Shoot your
But
shot.
heartbroken. I'm just
She's
kidding.
heartbroken.
He's happy to hear that, by the way.
Who knows?
I'm telling you.
Do you still run into him
He gonna call
places?
at the end of the week.
No,
He gonna call at the
have
end of
not
the week.
seen. We don't really speak. No, he may hear it.
He's happy to hear that. Whoever this guy is happy
He's gonna
to
call
hear
by the
that.
end of the week.
We'll see.
She said, back here. He gonna call. All right, it's Taylor Rooks. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.